Hey Crossroads, last night I had the privilege of being with our Divine campus as we had our very first practice service. And it just so happened that Pastor Thomas was there from our Albuquerque campus, and he was sharing a little bit about his story and how God had delivered him out of addiction and into salvation, sanctification, ministry, and now he is our pastor out there in Albuquerque, ministering in a very difficult area where there's so much brokenness. And we're seeing people saved and sanctified through his ministry, and the ministry is growing, and it's very exciting to watch. But then Pastor Lance got up to preach last night, and he was talking about oikos and the importance of sharing with individuals, the people that God has put all around us for the specific purpose of discipling them. And he was saying, and if you can't imagine that God would do something through any particular person, just remember Thomas. And it's so true, because when I first began to meet with Thomas and he was really getting serious about God, I never expected he was going to be a pastor, much less one of our pastors, and then have such a dynamic ministry both here in San Antonio and then in Albuquerque. I can think back to Pastor Lance, the same thing. And we have so many in the church that God is doing amazing things that you just may not have thought was going to happen when it first started. And I think back about my own youth pastor, who probably looks at me and he is shocked because he knew who I was then compared to who I am now. And so you never know. And we believe God has supernaturally and strategically placed you in the lives of a small group of people. And that's what we talked about last week, is spending this week looking at people through the eyes of Christ, trying to detect who is God calling you to disciple. We believe every believer should be discipling somebody. You can lead somebody else as far as you have gone with God, and we encourage you to do that. This Sunday, we're going to ask you to continue to pray and follow in the example of Christ. Bring that down to about 12 people that God is calling you to intentionally initiate relationships and conversations to begin to disciple them. And you may wonder, well, how do I start doing that? If they're not a good friend of yours and it's just somebody that you see at the convenience store and you see on a regular basis, you can just simply say, I'll be praying for you. If they're having a rough day, say, how can I pray for you? And now they know you're a Christian, you're a person of faith, a person of prayer, and God will begin to open the doors, and who knows what God will do. And so I want to encourage you to do that as we get ready to meet on Sunday. I'll be teaching on what does it mean that we have been made in His image. That's such a powerful principle. I can't wait to share it with you. God bless you, and I'll see you Sunday. Bye-bye.